Visitors came and went like audiences to the seasonal program. Artists and poets, musicians and professors, art dealers and collectors. All were in our employ, more or less. Jesters, eager to please the king. Papa was termed eccentric. A man of less privileged birth would have been committed. I found his mania intoxicating, and even his melancholy seemed romantic to a child who did not understand the blackness at its heart. As a result of his condition and of many a neglectful nanny, I had early access to a variety of mind-altering drugs, so that there are events of my childhood I'm not entirely certain weren't drug-induced visions. I had many intricate dialogues with God that I'd like to believe were real, as they proved quite enlightening, and of course rather flattering, but which I tend to believe were not, as I haven't yet been able to re-engage him. As I was growing up, my heroes were all madmen of a sort. Madness, my mother said, defined great men, just as fear defined weak ones. It seemed wise to adopt her opinion. My ancestors range from the visionary to the criminal, and I am named for a good many of them. Tristan Leandre Jourdain Mourault III. My surname is a dignified one in my native land, translating roughly to Little Dark. I've always thought of this as dusk, just before night and beyond the normalcy of day. It is where we have always existed. My obsession with beauty began in infancy. I was mesmerized by pictures, by flowers and faces, by the lovely symmetry that even the undiscriminating eye terms beautiful. Though Papa was heir to a fortune in Impressionist art, Maman was the true aesthete. I often think of the Mourault collection as hers alone. She took the paintings like lovers and knew all their stories, the gentle arthritic Renoir, the tempers of Degas, the humiliations of Lautrec, and the infidelities of Monet. She wove wondrous tales around them, audacious, and certainly fictive. Maman knew that the power of a painting, of any beautiful thing, is not in itself, but in its afterlife. Not a thing of a moment, but a perpetual quest. My own quests began at the age of 5. At my birthday party, I cornered the lovely Yvette Desmarais in the garden. Never was there a more satisfying game of cache-cache, or as you say, hide-and-seek. Those wide eyes the color of ice on a gray day, and the lines of her bow-tie mouth. She began to scream, yet in subsequent years took to writing me love letters. The paradox was instructive. Later I exercised more discretion, but found great delight in spying upon one of our maids, Martine, at her bath. I did so guiltlessly. It was not so very different from gazing upon the creamy flesh of Renoir's nudes, only I preferred my art living. I hesitate to say I was sex-obsessed. I had not so much an unquenchable appetite as an exacting one, and as a result my cosseted world soon grew confining. I elected to spend summers with relatives in Brussels, Edinburgh, and Munich. My seasons had new names: Jennifer, Adela, Geneviève, Anna. With conscious deliberation, I collected them. Yet these women were not conquests. They were studies. I soaked in their scent, memorized their outlines, colored them in. Nothing approached the ideal of my vision, and so I sought visions everywhere, following them to their lovely end. And then one came that did not end. I called her Gisele. She was barely 15, and she looked it. But I did not think of her age when I saw her. In the bland tourist milieu of Fisherman's Wharf, it was her dress I noticed first. Plum-colored and made of silk. The light moved upon it like a shimmering hand. The skirt flared and stopped, and my eyes followed the smooth line of her thigh down to the lovely knee